Pricing is commonly used in cost optimization, reducing cost, and also for budgeting. One feature of Google Cloud Platform is that bulk use discounting is built in and automatic for many services. In this lesson, you'll learn about how design choices can influence price. For example, you may have distributed an element of your solution over multiple regions to improve reliability. However, that distribution design might result in additional network charges for egress traffic. Is the cost of the reliability worth the additional network charges? Pricing estimation and pricing that follows capacity planning can help you decide.
So what about pricing? And this is something we often overlook or will push off to the vendor to calculate for us, but you really need to understand what you're getting into. This not only affects your business, but also user reputation if you get this wrong, because you may not get the budget to simply throw more hardware to fix the situation. So in this case, we have a number of ways already built in to try to drive down cost, and that comes from virtual machine dimensioning. So you can pick from our standard templates and then optimize for high memory or just simply more CPU than memory, add GPUs, or just customize your exact workload. We already include the machine type discounts, so and we have inferred type discounts, so we have sustained use discounts. We have inferred instance discounts, so if you're popcorning VMs, we can calculate how often, how many hours you've used a particular type. Then we try to pair it up with one of our lower cost configurations and give you a discount at the end of the year. Now there's committed use discounts, which you can prepay and say, you know what, I will use 1 million cores over this period. And so it doesn't matter what configuration you use, as long as you do that, we'll give you a fixed discount for anywhere from 1 year to 3 years, depending on how much you'll commit to. Now this doesn't apply to our managed services. You'll notice all of these are listed here: App Engine, App Engine Flex, Dataproc, so on and so forth. But don't forget preemptible VMs. If we're going to be creating a highly available environment, you might as well use something that gives you an 80% discount. Sure, you can be disrupted with 30-second notification. You'll guaranteed be turned off within 24 hours if you're not preempted. But you've already built in the ability for fault tolerance and failover, so what better way to continuously test it on a daily basis and save a huge bundle of money? And guess what? That sure beats saving 15% on your car insurance. Think about it. So what about optimizing disk costs? Well, in this case, you're either deciding to purchase storage for performance or for capacity. So when it comes to SSD, it certainly costs more per gig, but it's a much lower price per IOP. So you'll have to try to find that balance on which one is going to fit your budget. What about the network? In optimizing the network, you have to really understand where you're placing your data. If you are going to be going multi-zone, which is best practices, there actually is a fee to do egress between this multiple zones within the same region. It's about 1 penny per gig. There is an infrastructure that is required to support that, so it's very minimal cost as opposed to egressing, which comes in at a full 8 cents per gig. But again, you can save money on that with CDNs, using our CDN or our content providers, or even dedicated network connectivity to Google, either through a partner interconnect or private interconnect, which will save you also 50% on your cost. Now, if you're egressing between regions, that's going to be standard egress as well as going to intercontinental. In fact, intercontinental can sometimes be a little bit more expensive if you're doing, I think, like US to Asia. I think US to Europe is the same between multiple regions US, but I'd have to check. Just always keep an eye on our price guide because these do tend to fluctuate. Now, in this case here, virtual machine to virtual machine in the same zone. There are some limitations. If you remember that we do have a 2 gig network cap per core. That's up to 16 gigs total. Also, these theoretical caps are irrespective of the actual network connection. So just understand there's potential that we can do more. I've seen customers burst over 16 gig with highly optimized Ubuntu and then network drivers. So just know it's more of a quality of service. Remember to benchmark everything using the PerfKit benchmarker in the link below here. This is a great utility. You're going to find lots and lots of open source support for it. And it's exactly what the Google Performance team uses internally. So they really can't go wrong utilizing this.
In this module, you learned about capacity planning, including the planning cycle, and you learned about pricing. The two of them together, capacity and pricing, provide another perspective on design options. You can modify the design for cost optimization or to limit resource usage. One important point is to apply dimensioning to your design after you've considered other functional aspects of the design.